Let me tell you something right now. God will open the right door. So don't worry. That thing you're stressing over, that opportunity you think you missed, that connection that didn't call you back, that deal that fell through, that dream that still feels stuck in neutral, stop pacing the hallway. If the door didn't open, it wasn't yours. Not yet. See, we confuse delay with denial, but God doesn't waste time. He uses it. When it looks like nothing's happening, everything is happening behind the scenes. He's not just preparing the door, he's preparing you, because if you step into something you're not ready for, that blessing will feel like a burden. You think God's ignoring you? Nah, he's protecting you. Some doors are shut because what's behind them could destroy what he's developing in you. You wanted the promotion, but he saw the pressure. You wanted the relationship, but he saw the heartbreak. You wanted the stage, but he knew the weight of the spotlight would crush an unprepared character. So stop crying over closed doors. They are divine barricades, customized protection, heavenly no trespassing signs, keeping you out of rooms that aren't built for your destiny. And I get it, it's hard to wait, but hear me, real faith doesn't flinch when the door is locked. Real faith says, I don't need to know when, I just need to know who, and I know the one who holds the key. He opens what no man can shut and shuts what no man can open. And when he opens it, it stays open. But don't miss this. Obedience is your access code. Some of you are asking for open doors, but living like spiritual squatters. You're out of alignment and wondering why favor's not flowing. Obedience puts you in the position for overflow. You don't have to chase opportunity. Just walk in integrity and opportunity will chase you. And let's talk about timing. God's not interested in your calendar. You want it fast, but he wants it right. We pray for microwave miracles, but God's running a slow-cooked strategy. He's lining up people, positioning favor, preparing resources you haven't even imagined yet. His timing is not convenient, it's perfect. It's not late, it's strategic. So what do you do in the meantime? You worship, you praise, you stop worrying, stop whining, and start walking like it's already done, because worrying is wasted worship. You can't trust God and doubt him at the same time. You can't say he's your provider and panic when the bank account dips. You can't claim he's your waymaker and freak out when the road gets bumpy. Worry is fear rehearsed. Worship is faith released. So today I came to tell you this: breathe, relax. The right door is not just coming, it's being crafted with your name on it. Stay faithful, stay focused, stay ready. And when that door swings open, don't hesitate. Walk through it like you were made for it, because you were. And remember, God will open the right door, so don't worry. Delay is not denial. It's divine preparation. But most people miss that because we've been trained to believe that if something doesn't happen instantly, it's not meant to be. We live in a culture of instant gratification, microwave breakthroughs, and overnight success stories. But God doesn't operate on that clock. He's not in a rush. He's in control. When things don't happen on your schedule, it doesn't mean God said no. Sometimes it just means he's working on the version of you that can handle the weight of what you prayed for. There's a difference between wanting something and being ready for it. You might want the stage, but can your character handle the spotlight? You might want the business, but are your systems in place? You might want the marriage, but have you healed from the last heartbreak? God will not give you something that will sabotage your soul. So the delay isn't punishment, it's protection, it's development. It's heaven doing construction on your foundation so the blessing won't break you when it shows up. Think about it. A seed doesn't grow the moment you plant it. There's a season of darkness, of silence, of deep soil moments where nothing looks like it's changing, but roots are going down. Strength is forming. And when the time is right, it breaks through. If you dig it up too soon, you kill what God was growing. So stop interpreting silence as absence. Stop interpreting waiting as wasting. That delay is doing something. It's maturing you. It's stretching your faith. It's teaching you how to trust God, not just for the blessing, but through the process. You don't need to panic in the delay. You need to prepare. Because when God finally says now, you won't have time to get ready. You'll have to be ready. So shift your mindset. Delay is not a closed door. It's just the hallway. And how you carry yourself in the hallway determines how you'll walk through the door. Don't despise the delay. Embrace it. Because it's not a detour. It's divine preparation. Closed doors are customized protection. Not all rejection is the enemy. Sometimes it's divine intervention in disguise. We think that when a door shuts in our face, it's because we failed or weren't good enough. But what if the very thing you're crying over is the thing God used to save you? See, God sees the full picture. You're looking at the moment. He's looking at the mission. You're focused on what you want. He's focused on what you need. So when a door closes, it's not random. It's not personal. It's precise. It's customized, tailor-made for your protection based on information you don't have yet. You don't know what's behind that opportunity you were begging for. You don't know what kind of weight, temptation, or distraction was waiting to pull you off track, but God does. And when he says no, it's not a punishment, it's a boundary. A loving father doesn't give his child everything they ask for. He gives them what's best for them, even if they don't understand it yet. That job you didn't get, maybe that environment would have drained your passion. That relationship that didn't work out, maybe it would have damaged your purpose. That deal that didn't go through, maybe it would have opened a door to compromise. God doesn't just protect your life, he protects your legacy. So when he shuts a door, it's not just about the now, it's about your future. It's about preserving your assignment, your integrity, your peace. And here's the thing, just because a door looks good doesn't mean it's God. The enemy can open doors too. Opportunity doesn't always mean destiny. That's why discernment matters. Just because it pays well doesn't mean it's your path. Just because it feels right doesn't mean it is right. That's why we have to learn to trust the one who sees what we can't. So instead of getting mad at the door that didn't open, start thanking God for what he protected you from. Start praising him for the no's that saved your soul. You'll look back one day and realize that closed door was the greatest blessing you never asked for. Closed doors aren't setbacks, they're setups. They are reroutes, not rejections. And if you really trust God, you'll stop trying to kick down what he's locked up. Because if he closed it, you don't want it. Let him protect you, even when it hurts. Faith doesn't flinch at locked doors. Real faith doesn't panic when things don't open right away. It doesn't run when the answer isn't instant, and it doesn't fold when the opportunity seems sealed shut. Faith stands its ground, not because of what it sees, but because of who it trusts. If your faith needs a visible sign to stay strong, that's not faith, it's just observation. Faith is believing God is working, even when every door in your life says access denied. It's saying, I know what it looks like, but I trust what he said. Faith isn't scared of silence. It isn't intimidated by a season of waiting. And it doesn't break down just because the path isn't clear. A locked door doesn't mean God forgot you. Sometimes it's there to strengthen your spiritual stamina. Can you still believe when nothing moves? Can you still worship when the answer is not yet? Can you still declare God's goodness when the door stays shut? That's where real faith lives, not in the outcome, but in the obedience. Not in the breakthrough, but in the belief. Faith is when you're staring at a locked door and instead of doubting, you say, God's got the key and he opens things in the right season. And get this, just because a door is locked to you doesn't mean it's locked to God. He doesn't need permission to move. He doesn't need help to make a way. The door might be locked from your side, but the owner of the house holds the master key. He can open it whenever he wants. He can bring favor from places you never expected. He can shift situations that look stuck for years in a moment. So don't let the lock discourage you. Let it drive you deeper into trust. Locked doors are not a sign to give up. They're a call to go up in your faith. Speak life even when the hallway feels endless. Stay expectant. Keep your posture of praise, because when God opens that door, it won't be a crack. It'll be a swing wide, undeniable move of heaven. Faith doesn't flinch. It leans in. It stays ready. It prepares like the door could open at any moment, because with God, it can. Obedience unlocks access. Everybody wants favor, but not everybody wants to follow instructions. We love the promise, but we skip over the process. Make no mistake, God doesn't release what you're not ready to steward, and readiness is revealed through obedience. There are doors you've been praying for that won't open just because you ask. They open when you align. You can't live out of order and expect overflow. You can't ignore what God already told you and then ask him for what's next. God doesn't bless rebellion. He blesses obedience. Obedience isn't just about behavior. It's about posture. It's about saying, God, I trust your way even when it doesn't make sense. I'll go where you lead even if it's uncomfortable. I'll do what you ask even if it costs me something, because here's the truth. Your next level is on the other side of your last instruction. You're not waiting on God. He might be waiting on you. Some of us are standing at doors asking for favor, but God's saying, I gave you a key. You just haven't used it. That key is obedience. It's waking up early to pray when your flesh wants to sleep. It's walking away from relationships he told you to let go of. It's saying no to what feels good so you can say yes to what is good. It's managing your resources well, forgiving when it hurts, serving when nobody's watching. When you obey, you position yourself for access, and that access isn't just about what you get, it's about who you become. Obedience develops character. It shapes your spirit. It prepares you for the weight of what you're walking into, because favor without formation is dangerous. God won't open a door that your character isn't ready to walk through. And let's be clear, obedience is not always glamorous. Sometimes it's quiet. Sometimes it's lonely. Sometimes it's sacrificial, but it's always worth it. Every time you obey, heaven takes notice. Every time you honor God in the little things, he trusts you with bigger things. You don't have to manipulate your way into rooms. You don't have to network your way into purpose. You don't have to force anything. Just stay faithful, stay aligned, stay obedient, and when the time is right, the door will open. And it won't be one you had to beg for. It'll be one you were built for. Because obedience doesn't just move the hand of God. It opens the doors only he can unlock. God's timing is strategic, not convenient. That's a hard truth to swallow when you're ready now, when the vision is burning in your chest, when you've been faithful, obedient, consistent, and it still hasn't happened. But let me remind you, just because you're ready emotionally doesn't mean you're ready spiritually. And just because you want it now doesn't mean it's the right time. God doesn't operate on your deadlines. He's not checking your calendar or adjusting to your 5-year plan. He's not in a rush to prove himself. He's in the business of perfection. His timing is layered with strategy, not urgency. Every delay, every detour, every not yet is orchestrated to align with something bigger than you can see. You want it fast, he wants it right. You want it soon, he wants it strong. Because convenience might make you feel good, but strategy makes you built for what's coming. That's why God takes his time. He's not just preparing the blessing for you, he's preparing you for the blessing. And if he gave it too soon, it might crush you instead of crown you. Think about Joseph. He had the dream at 17, but the palace didn't come until years later. In between was betrayal, prison, and silence. But all of it was strategic. Every low place was training ground for high places. Every delay was a setup for destiny. The timing wasn't convenient, but it was perfect. That's how God moves. He's setting things in motion that you can't see. He's aligning people, shifting circumstances, removing obstacles, opening hearts, opening your eyes. And sometimes the only reason it hasn't happened yet is because if it had, you would have thought you did it. But when he does it in his time, there'll be no confusion. It was all him. So stop trying to microwave what God is slow cooking. Stop rushing a process that's designed to refine you. Stop calling it a delay when it's actually divine design. The timing of God is intentional, not accidental. It's crafted with precision, purpose, and power. You're not being overlooked. You're being positioned. Not being forgotten. You're being fortified. And when the moment comes, when the strategy of heaven meets the faithfulness of your journey, you won't have to fight for it. It'll fall right into place. Because when God moves, he moves suddenly. But don't confuse suddenly with quick. What feels sudden to you has been in motion for years. And when it hits, it'll be so right, so smooth, so undeniable that you'll say, only God. God's not late. God's not late. He's just strategic. And when he shows up, it won't be convenient, but it will be perfect. Worry is a waste of worship. Every moment you spend worrying is a moment you're not trusting. It's a moment where your mind rehearses fear instead of releasing faith. And the truth is, worry doesn't change anything except your peace. It won't move God faster, and it won't make the outcome better. All it does is drain your joy, distort your perspective, and delay your obedience. Worry is the enemy of worship because it shifts your focus from God's power to your problems. You start magnifying the obstacle instead of the one who can overcome it. You start obsessing over the what ifs instead of standing on the he said. Worry takes your eyes off the promise and glues them to the problem. It blinds you to what God is doing because you're too busy trying to control what he already has under control. You can't worship and worry at the same time. Your heart can't bow in two directions. One leads to panic, the other to peace. One drains you, the other fills you. One spirals you into fear, the other lifts you into faith. Worship reminds you of who God is, his power, his track record, his faithfulness. Worry forgets all of that and pretends like you're on your own. But you're not on your own. You serve a God who sees, who knows, who provides. A God who's never been late, never been confused, never needed your backup plan.